The poles are shifting. That is, the magnetic poles of our planet are shifting, which will lead to a global disaster. Some people may think that this is just another one of those fake scientific theories with no basis in reality. But it's not. It's based on data collected over decades by satellites and magnetic observatories around the world. In fact, since the 1970s, the magnetic North Pole has been wandering around almost at a speed of 55 kilometers or 34 miles per year. And it seems that soon it will be moving even faster. Scientists are closely monitoring what they call the Great Magnetic Flip because it means that the Earth's magnetic field is weakening, and that could have serious consequences. This video will answer the following questions. What is the Great Magnetic Flip? Why does it happen? When will it happen? And most importantly, how will it affect our planet and its inhabitants? Let's get started. Earth's magnetic field protects us from the sun's deadly radiation and makes life on our planet possible. You can think of our planet as a giant magnet with a magnetic field that extends thousands of kilometers into space. This field is created by the Earth's core, the outer part of which is liquid. It contains iron and nickel, and it's constantly in motion due to the rotation of our planet. Convection currents are formed inside the Earth's core, and they cause the free electrons of iron and nickel atoms to move, and that generates electric currents. Moving charges, as you know, create a magnetic field. But like everything else in the universe, Earth's magnetic field is not static. Its magnetic poles, north and south, shift their position periodically. The magnetic North Pole is currently located in northern Canada, but about 400 years ago, it was near the coast of northern Russia. And then about 800 years ago, it was located somewhere off the coast of Greenland. Over the past 20,000 years, Earth's magnetic poles have changed their location more than 30 times. On average, this process occurs every 260,000 years, although sometimes the intervals between pole shifts can be much shorter. Scientists have long known about these shifts, and they also know that each shift leads to the weakening of the Earth's magnetic field. However, until recently, they didn't know why exactly it happens. In 2021, an international team of researchers published an article in the journal Nature Communications in which they proposed a new theory. They say that it's the movement of the liquid core of our planet that causes the weakening of the magnetic field. And here's what's interesting. According to scientists, the intensity of the Earth's magnetic field will continue to decrease until the magnetic poles change places. That is, until we experience a magnetic reversal. Then the Earth's magnetic field will become stronger again. Unfortunately, this process is irreversible. Once the magnetic poles switch places, they won't return to their original positions. It's like a swinging pendulum. It loses a little energy with each swing and eventually comes to a complete stop. And then it starts moving in the opposite direction. So when will this reversal occur? Scientists have estimated that the magnetic field reversal will happen in about 600 years. It's usually accompanied by a geomagnetic excursion, that is, a sharp change in the Earth's magnetic field. The last such event occurred about 780,000 years ago. Its intensity peaked at about 200,000 years before the actual reversal. Scientists believe that the forthcoming magnetic pole shift will occur within the next 300 years. When the magnetic poles change places, it means that the magnetic field will weaken even more, which will lead to serious consequences. In particular, the Van Allen radiation belts will start to descend lower over Earth's surface. These belts are located in the Earth's magnetic field and contain high-energy protons and electrons. They protect us from harmful cosmic radiation, but if the belts come closer to Earth, many living organisms could die. Another danger is that the Earth's magnetic field is inextricably linked with the ionosphere. As you probably know, the ionosphere is the upper layer of our atmosphere where solar radiation ionizes the gas molecules. It's believed that the ionosphere affects the propagation of radio waves and reflects them back to Earth's surface. Without the ionosphere, it would be impossible to establish radio communications and navigation on our planet. If the Earth's magnetic field weakens, the ionosphere will also weaken. And that could mess up all of our modern communication systems. What's more, the Earth's magnetic field determines the weather and climate on our planet. It protects us from solar wind, which can cause not only magnetic storms, but also global climate change. A weakening of the Earth's magnetic field will mean that we'll face more extreme weather events. And it doesn't matter whether it's weakening before the reversal or after it. In both cases, we'll have to deal with hurricanes, floods, droughts, and other natural disasters happening much more often. The list of potential negative consequences goes on, but there's something else I want to tell you about. Did you know that the Earth's magnetic field creates a barrier that prevents cosmic dust from entering our planet? It's thanks to this barrier that we have a thin atmosphere that's so important for life. Without it, the Earth would turn into a dead planet like Mars. And yes, if the Earth's magnetic field weakens, cosmic dust will begin to fall onto our planet and destroy our atmosphere. Plants will die and the oxygen content in the air will decrease. Of course, all these changes won't happen overnight. The magnetic pole shift and all the ensuing consequences will occur gradually, probably over several hundred years. But the thing is, humanity has never witnessed anything like this before. We don't have any historical records that could help us predict what will happen in the future. All we have is paleoclimatic reconstructions that help us draw some conclusions based on the analysis of ice cores, tree rings, sediments at the bottom of the ocean and layers of volcanic ash. It's believed that the last pole shift began about 2,800 years ago and ended about 1,100 years ago. It caused the so-called medieval climate optimum when Europe enjoyed unusually warm weather for that time. However, this period of global warming was followed by the Little Ice Age, a period of rapid climate change that lasted from the 14th to the 19th century. It's quite possible that the upcoming magnetic pole shift will also have far-reaching consequences for the global climate. And then there's the X factor. Scientists don't consider the impact of human activity on the upcoming magnetic pole shift. The thing is, humanity's impact on the environment is so great that scientists can't predict what the consequences of the pole shift will be. Moreover, our activities may well accelerate the process of weakening the Earth's magnetic field. After all, humans use up a lot of fossil fuels and emit tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every day. Maybe our everyday activities will lead to the fact that the magnetic poles will switch places not in 300 years, but in just several decades. Now, you might wonder if there's anything we can do about it. Well, unfortunately, no. Humanity can't influence the processes occurring in the Earth's core. Our only chance is to wait until the magnetic poles switch places and then hope that we can adapt to the new conditions. There are assumptions that during the period of the pole shift, the Earth's magnetic field will be so unstable that compasses will spin around and some animals with magnetic navigation abilities will get completely disoriented. But let me ask you this. Would you like to live in a world without Google Maps and GPS? Because if the Earth's magnetic field weakens, we'll have to forget about all this modern stuff. And what's more, experts believe that solar activity will increase in the coming years. And that means that during the period of the magnetic pole shift, Earth will face real hell. We're talking about intense geomagnetic storms that will damage power grids, disrupt radio communications, and mess up the operation of various electronic devices. But I still hope that we can somehow survive the upcoming trials, especially since we already have experience of surviving the so-called solar storm of 1859. Back then, the Earth's atmosphere was ionized in such a way that telegraph systems around the world worked without being connected to the power supply. People could even send messages without having a cent in their pocket. Today, however, such a solar storm would cause trillions of dollars in damages and throw our economies into chaos. I really hope that scientists are wrong about the magnetic pole shift and that we don't have to worry about the upcoming global disaster. But even if they're right, it's better to be prepared in advance than to regret it later. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe.